Today, we're not covering what Kawaki can already do. We're covering what he hasn't shown us yet, and if my theory is right, the authors are setting up something that's genuinely going to blow your mind. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because a new manga chapter is coming out soon, and I'll be covering it. And trust me, you don't want to miss that. And if you enjoy this theory, a quick like would be greatly appreciated. Isshiki Otsutsuki never once fought at full power. Jigen's body was literally cracking under the pressure of his strength, and Isshiki himself was manifesting inside a vessel that was barely holding together. Kawaki was originally designed to be the perfect system, one that could handle 100% of an Otsutsuki's power without breaking down. But Amato, a guy who always plays the long game, quietly built a suppressor right into Kawaki's karma. His offensive capabilities were artificially locked down, with all his energy rerouted toward regeneration. Amato was using Kawaki as an insurance policy, and while that policy was active, what we were seeing was just a shadow of what Kawaki actually is. And that changes everything, because it means every single thing we've seen Kawaki do in the manga has been him operating at the absolute bare minimum of his potential. And this is where it gets really interesting. It has 8 spokes, arranged in the shape of a Dharma wheel. That is not a coincidence, and it's definitely not just cool-looking design. In Buddhist and Hindu philosophy, the 8 spokes of the Dharma chakra represent the 8 siddhis, 8 supernatural abilities that grant absolute mastery over the physical world. I'm not going to go through all of them, because 4 of the 8 are already working in Kawaki right now. What I'm more interested in are the ones that haven't activated yet. My guess is that Kawaki will most likely unlock these abilities once Amato finally gives him access to his full power. That remaining 15% he's been quietly holding back. The biggest one on my radar is Garima, the ability to become infinitely heavy. Throughout the story, we've already seen hints of this: Isshiki's ultra-dense cubes and his black rods. But those are just indirect expressions of the concept. Quick disclaimer before I get into this: this isn't a science lecture, and I'm not trying to argue that this is how real-world physics actually works. This is just my personal interpretation of Kawaki's abilities through the lens of some physics concepts. With that said, we know that mass and energy are equivalent, and that adding energy to an object increases its mass. The problem in the real world is that pumping energy into something also causes it to expand. You get heat, deformation, and destruction. Basically, the object explodes before it gets heavier. But what if you had a dimension where time simply doesn't exist? Daikokuten, Isshiki and Kawaki's pocket dimension, is a space where time has zero flow. And if there's no time, there's no thermodynamics, no thermal expansion, no entropy. Particles of matter literally cannot move chaotically. Kawaki could take any non-living object, a rod, a cube, anything, place it inside Daikokuten, and pour chakra energy into it indefinitely. None of that energy dissipates as heat. Instead, it's stored as potential mass. A regular metal rod, when pulled back out of that dimension, could weigh dozens of tons. Do you understand what that means in a fight? This isn't just a heavy object. This is instant gravitational immobilization. It's a direct callback to Kaguya's dimension with its crushing gravity, where she trapped Naruto and Sasuke in the original manga. Except now, that power is in Kawaki's hands. The second dormant ability is Vasitva, absolute control over physical forces. In classical mechanics, mass is a measure of an object's resistance to movement. We know that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Every strike has recoil. Every attack has a counter. But what if Kawaki learns to project Daikokuten's local time stasis onto specific parts of his own body, so that at the exact moment of impact, for just a fraction of a second, time freezes at the point of contact. The particles in his fist step outside the physical laws of their universe. It's meeting a spatial singularity with infinite inertia, and no off switch, because physics itself is on Kawaki's side. And you know what I love most about this theory? It doesn't come out of nowhere. It grows directly from the DNA of the Naruto universe itself. Remember the scene with Jigen and Delta, where he instantly restored a destroyed table? That wasn't just fan service. That was the authors showing us that Daikokuten functions as a state storage system for non-living objects. They laid that brick in the story's foundation a long time ago. If the authors follow this through to the end, Kawaki won't just be a powerful enemy. He'll be a character who embodies immovability and absolute control over matter. Kokugan versus Jugen. Material control versus spiritual liberation. Honestly, I have no idea exactly how Ikamoto is going to draw this out. Maybe I'm wrong on some of the details. Maybe the execution will look completely different. But the structure, 8 spokes, 8 siddhis, 2 dormant abilities, feels way too precise to be a coincidence. Drop your thoughts in the comments comments, and if you're into this kind of breakdown, go ahead and subscribe because it's only going to get more interesting from here.